GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, Dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered.
And that's MVS and Justin Watson.
With some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues.
If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up.
Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow,
comma, semicolon, period, next sentence.
to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, Deebo. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes? Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
And Jay.
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude,
he? How
he's so
good is GMGP? It is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself and my brother from another mother. Y'all know who it is, the Canadian Jordan Richards. You can find him at your boy JRich. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay. We appreciate y'all being in the building. We appreciate wherever you're watching from. In your bed, you're on the toilet, getting ready for work, on the train, on the plane. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you show some love, support to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button, like the content, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, get in the chat. If you can make it live, I promise you, the Wake Up family and the crew in the chat, they have a good time, man. Who we got in the building today, Jay? Who we got in the building today, Jay? Kev, what's going on? He's saying GMGP, go Oilers. They reached some of that NHL talk early this morning. Go Oilers early this morning. Got a question for the chat. You got Eric asking questions in the chat. Shout out to you, Eric. Happy Wednesday, my friend. Who else we got in the building? Garrison, StyLee. Hey, JRich. Lee's doing some cool stuff, and we were looking at some updates he's helping us make to our website and some of the tools, and not good for some of my boys, JRich. I'm gonna just say that from a Trinity perspective, not good for some old GQ's boys. Wyatt Wallace in the building, Jeff in the building, Eric Bryant, Mason in the building. Kirk, what's happening with you? Balls Life. FF was popping with you. Yeah, and I'm in the building. Look at that. Yeah, I'm in the building. Shout out to the sweatpant enthusiasts in the chat. JRich, how are you today, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am fired up, Ray, because the NHL playoffs will start today. So we are cheering for the Oil, right? We're not cheering for the Panthers. Can you confirm that with me?
Yeah. I'm rocking with you, big dog. Whoever you say, I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with you.
All right.
I'm rocking with you. But
Good.
you good, though, man?
I'm good. Great morning. Woke up, went to the gym, came back, prepared for the show. You showed me some great stuff StyLee's working on. And yeah, StyLee, because I know that you're watching, Ray's trying to make his boy Jameson Williams look good. He's doing full season sample, early sample, middle season, 2-week sample. It's just, we'll get there. But we'll see. You know,
we got to fine tune it. We got to fine tune it so all my players display what I want them to display, right? We got to fine tune it a little bit, but there are some cool updates coming to the tool, hopefully very, very soon. Best usage tracker for the wide receiver position in the game, hands down. Trusted Trinity,
Yes, sir.
DDFantasyFootball.com, doing some really cool updates to help people make some better decisions this time in the offseason. And we got a dope show talking about some unexpected breakout stars for the 2025 NFL season, only looking at some offensive guys. Make sure you throw some names in the chat. We'll see who we have. People didn't like my lists on Monday. There was a lot of disdain.
No, they didn't like you arguing with me was the biggest thing. Ray, we got like 45 likes on that comment about you not listening to my arguments.
I listened to them.
I got DMs about it. I saw other people talking
They
about it.
loved your argument with
No, it was
Mar
just-
versus McBride. They loved it.
No, it was Jag. Jag was like, oh, man, the kids don't like it when the parents fight. And I was like, it's very true. It's very true.
Oh, man. Well, this is a great segue because people think we fight, and we're like, literally, we are brothers. But right here, Breezy said, GMGP, how did you and JRich meet? I think we've told the story before, Jay, but you want to be quick about how we met and how we formed this union here?
Yeah, we met on Twitter. I think at the time, both of us were working for Dynasty Nerds at the time. And you were putting out a video about, I believe, was it Golden Tate?
Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd.
Right. So when you see those clips of videos and someone's talking about a player, but you don't know where they are on the field, I was like, Ray, why don't you actually show where Tyler Boyd is so people can figure out the routes he's running and all this stuff? And that was literally all it took. And Ray took the criticism well. And we kept talking, and we're here now. Literally, that's all it was. We met on Twitter.
People are upset about you and I arguing on the show when you just dogged me out the first time we met. You were like, this video could be much better. This is not that good, GQ. I believe in you a little more than this. Yeah. You were very honest with me the first time that we met, and that honesty has gone a long way. And here we are 6 years later.
Five. Feels like ages now.
Yeah, it feels like a long time, and we're still...
We got copyrighted, right? It's funny. Speaking of this, my top 10 wide receivers for fantasy from 2020 got copyrighted.
Got hit with copyright. Yeah, I saw that. Stop stealing people's shit, man. That's what you get. You're hurting the channel.
Jeudy clip.
We'll be talking about Jeudy in a little bit, man. All right, let's. But that's how we met. For those of y'all that want to know, that is how we met. Now, Jay, I before we start the show, if you're ready to get to it, just hit fast forward because I'm going to take 3 minutes. We got to experience WWE live on Monday, man.
Yes, sir.
We were at.
Talk about it.
Live. I've got some pictures, but I just want to how cool is this image that I took out there, man? It was like I had some people reach out. Hey, can we use your photo? Oh, yeah, it's JRich. There's us. And there is the world heavyweight champ, main event, Jey Uso. I mean, we were right there on the floor. The first match, dude, somebody got knocked out cold, stone cold knocked out. They had to bring the P. It was pretty scary. It wasn't televised because they got matches before it goes live, like the pre-matches.
Yeah.
Tries to do like a 450 flip from the top rope, lands on it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh shit, he's hurt. Didn't move for like 5 minutes. It was actually pretty scary. But main event, Jey Uso was there. We had a good time. The kids loved it. I will probably never miss another event that's locally in my city. Like, it was that fun.
Really, it was that good?
I don't like going to sporting events live because at an NFL game, you got like 70,000 people there, right? So the parking lot's jam-packed. It's hard as hell to get in and out. But stuff like this, the arenas only hold like 12, 13, 14,000. And
that's not bad.
Very rarely is it completely sold out. So it's just a lot easier to flow, navigate in. Yeah, it was a good time, man. Wife set it all up. Kids loved it. I loved it. You would love it. The people would love it. It was a great time, man. WWE is totally real. Whoever tells you wrestling is fake, JRich, they have lied to you. It was a good time, man. But we got to talk some football, and there is some news out there, JRich. Your boy, Arthur Smith, apparently, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are still having conversations about Jonnu Smith. And you told the people last week, last show, you're not concerned. If Jonnu gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, good for him. No big deal. You still don't think this would be a problem putting him on offense that currently, right now, has no quarterback. I saw a goddamn OTA report that Mason Rudolph looks like a Pro Bowl player out there. That's what some beat reporter from Pittsburgh said. Mason Rudolph looks like a Pro Bowler, but still no concern about Jonnu Smith and how damn good he was last year for the Dolphins, changing teams to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have no quarterback, who've got Arthur Smith as the OC. Still no concerns.
No concerns. I think the real concern is if you expect Jonnu to be tight end 4 again, that's probably where your concern should lie. He could absolutely do that. But when you just talk about this situation now where, the new news, and the reason we're talking about this again, is because Donald Parham tore his Achilles. For the season.
Yep.
Again, backup tight end for the Steelers. We know who the starter is going to be. Pat Freiermuth,
probably, right? Behind Washington.
Behind Washington, yeah. But yeah, so again, if they get Jonnu, I think there will be a reason for that. He'll probably be paid, right? Which is another big factor here. He wants to be paid. So if they get him, he will probably be paid. At least I'd imagine so, or else why would you trade for him?
Right.
And he's going to an offense where he's very familiar as well. So again, I think it just depends on whether you expect him to be tight end 4 again, or whether you think he can just be like a top 8 tight end and weekly producer for you. Because I think he can do that in Pittsburgh, but maybe he has a slightly higher ceiling in Miami. I just don't know if it's that different overall for me personally. But I think he can be good in the Smith system, right? He's been good in the Smith system. I
guess it just doesn't feel like the type of offense that's going to thrive off of using 2 tight ends, right? If you're telling me they're going to run 12 personnel and they're going to thrive off of 2 tight ends, which we don't have this in the show notes, but since we're talking about tight ends and for whatever reason, we talk about damn tight ends on the show more than any other position.
Really?
There's a piece on NFL.com right now about Cole Kmet and him being frustrated, and about him being frustrated when they selected Colston Loveland, and Ben Johnson called him immediately and said the plan, and I'm just reading the article, is to use a lot of two tight end sets. That's 12 personnel, which my brain starts going to the outside. Okay, last year, they're predominantly running out 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. You've got one of those receivers offline in the slot. Well, if they're going to run 12 and you're running Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, then it's only going to be DJ Moore and Rome Odunze on the outside. Caleb Williams is going to be in a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. You got 2 tight ends on the field, which to me, they might run the ball a little bit more if that is truly the plan, to deploy 2 tight ends in that offense. So, yeah, I guess Jonnu Smith is fine. I'm still concerned about the quarterback, Jay. And to my knowledge, there's been no movement on the Aaron Rodgers front. I see some stuff out there, people being frustrated, people not being frustrated.
Yeah.
He's not on the team. Should matter, shouldn't matter. But all indications, I guess, are still pointed towards Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback for Pittsburgh, even though he's not participating in voluntary team activities.
Yeah, I don't think that sentiment has changed. Like you said, there's a lot of speculation. No one really has any new reports as to whether Rodgers is going to or not going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Right.
At least it seems like that's going to be the case. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of what happened last year, right? It wasn't really until Keenan Allen missed some time that we saw a bit more from Rome Odunze, right? And I think that's where people kind of are forgetting what happened with Odunze. We wanted to see more of him, and we just didn't get it, right? We knew he was a talented receiver. We knew he could have played ahead of Keenan Allen, but we just didn't see it until Keenan Allen got hurt, and he really started to shine. Now, he still had 100 targets last year, but yeah, this is the ultimate indictment on Luther Burden. It doesn't impact Cole Kmet. It doesn't impact Colston Loveland. It only impacts Luther Burden if it hurts him from getting on the field as early and as often as we initially thought. But I think it's great, maybe even better for Odunze and DJ Moore, because it probably consolidates the targets at the top for those 2 guys, since they're going to be on the field most of the time.
Yep. Okay. Let's move to your squad. Because I've been thinking about this player a lot, especially doing some of these underdog super flex drafts and thinking about roster construction, trying to take down one of these tournaments. Jay, I am, and I don't know where his dynasty value is. I believe on KTC, Drake Maye is QB 7, 8. I think I know he's inside the top 10.
QB 7 or 8?
He's absolutely in the top 10. He's on KTC from a dynasty value perspective. I believe he's in the top 10. Where's he at?
QB 7?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so
dude, have people lost their minds?
Well, hold on. So he's QB 7 dynasty, right? We're talking dynasty, long-term value. Underdog, I believe he's coming off the board as like QB 17. Okay, coming off the board around QB 17. Is that a little more appropriate for you? Does that feel better if I was saying QB 17? Okay, seasonal leagues QB 17. I want to read an excerpt from observation from the Patriots Talk podcast from Tom E. Curran. I'm back. Tom E. Curran. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Got 200 damn followers, and I don't know who he is. All right, he's a Pats insider. On Drake Maye's highlight plays at OTAs. Let me actually pull this up there. I'll pull this up so that people can see it. Some people might be watching. Right here. I just want to amplify that they were ridiculous throws. The one to Kayshon Boutte was a deep corner about 25 yards down the field. The ball stopped on him like a platter. It was such a good throw. I've been reading and following the early OTA reports about Drake Maye and how he's gelled with his young receivers. Sure, growing pains here and there. You got a young quarterback, but everything that I'm reading is like, this is the dude. Arm strength, leadership, size, speed, athleticism. I've drafted some Kayshon Boutte. I think he's going to be on the field. I do believe that Kayshon Boutte is going to get some burn to the New England Patriots this fall. But, Jay, the more this goes on, and I'm just thinking about the 24 QB class in general, how freaking good is that looking right now, honestly? I mean, we had 5 quarterbacks drafted before Shedeur Sanders in round 5 and 25. We had 5 damn quarterbacks taken before pick 15 in 2024, and all 5 of them looked like they could be pretty good. Where are you at with Drake Maye and the drumbeat, the constant, steady, positive drumbeat? We're not going back to TB12. We ain't doing that. but you got to
No.
feel a hell of a lot better than what they tried to piecemeal together at quarterback last year and from their failed experiment of Mac Jones in the first round a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting because Drake Maye showed some flashes, and we saw some struggles as well because the team was really, really bad. Now, we expect the defense to be significantly better. The offensive line should be improved, but I don't know if it's going to be significantly better than it was last year. I mean, I can hope for it. We've talked about how the win total is kind of crazy at 8.5, but they do have an easy schedule. I believe it's top 3 in the league in terms of strength of schedule. But to say that Maye is QB7, Ray, and this is kind of the crazy part for me, is when you see quarterbacks have ridiculous rookie seasons, right? Jaden Daniels is now obviously QB1. And yeah, the comment was referencing JJ's pod. I think I listened to that either yesterday or this morning.
Yeah,
and he talked about basically rushing quarterbacks. He put them in 3 buckets, and the 3 quarterbacks in this bucket were Drake Maye, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix, because I believe they score over between 2 and 4 points per game on the ground rushing, and they have a lot of success going into year 2 because of that. Now, Jaden Daniels was over 4 points per game, and that's what puts him in the elite threshold with Allen and Lamar and all those guys. But at the same time, like, we still know they have no weapons. Like, this is the hard part for me with Maye is and you remember this from the time that he was still a junior at North Carolina. I said I think he could be our Justin Herbert. Right? And you obviously know how much I love Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert in his rookie season threw 30 touchdowns, and he still had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams on the roster. Drake Maye didn't do that, and he doesn't have that, but he's still in the top 7 at QB. So, again, I love Drake Maye, but it's kind of crazy to take him ahead of Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert. CJ Stroud, you might have a point. But, Ray, the question I want to ask you is, how do you feel about Drake Maye versus Bo Nix? Because they seem like 2 completely different situations, and especially Nix coming off a much better season as a rookie.
If I had 10 rolls, like if I had 10 shots at it, I would probably split it down the middle.
Okay.
I like both. I think Bo Nix is in a better current environment right now. I think his situation, the whole team of Denver, right? When you have a good defense, it does take pressures off you offensively. Like, I know I'm getting 2 turnovers a game. I know they're not going to be able to push the ball past the 50, right? I know we're going to be in good field position because of how great this defense is. And then you have continued to talk about how good Denver's offensive line was last year and improvements that they've made. I'd probably split it down the middle. I'd want 5 Mayes and I'd want 5 Bo Nixes. I think the thing with Drake Maye is, if he's good, right, with
this supporting cast,
and I don't think the supporting cast is. I would take this group with Diggs, of Kyle Williams, Hunter Henry. I would take this group, and it's not great, right? I would take this over. There's probably a couple of teams, man. The Colts,
but there ain't a lot.
There's not a lot.
But even the Colts, because he got JT, right? Like,
if he shows well with this supporting cast, like, I think that leans for me to feel like he's more truck than trailer. Like, if he's good with these receivers and a young offensive line, his first year under McDaniels, first year under Mike Vrabel, like, I think I would feel a little better about Maye going forward. It still doesn't feel, and I like Bo Nix. Hey, we hated him and then we loved him, right? We turn face quick, about face quick. Yeah. He still feels a little more trailer than truck, right? Doesn't he feel a little more trailer than truck? I think you have to make the bet on Maye. Like, if you wait until he actually does it and returns,
apparently it'll be way too late.
It'll be too late. And then it's like, I'm not giving you 3 first-round picks for damn Drake, man. I'm not doing it. Like, I think you have to make that bet now and just project that he's going to do it in the future.
And that's the hard part, is even now,
it's
a big bet. It's not a, well, we'll see. He's, QB 11, QB 12. Maybe he can get to QB 6.
Yeah,
like,
Tennessee.
he's already in the thick of it with other really talented top quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So it's a big bet. And again, it's probably not a bet I would necessarily make, but respect to you if you make it, because he does have a lot of upside, and I love him. And I loved your comment about Boutte, because When Drake Maye was really firing and making big throws, for whatever reason, they were to Kayshon Boutte, and he was making big plays down the field, and that's what they're going to need this season.
All right, JRich, back to your favorite position and one of your favorite players in the NFL. Did you see that Kyle Pitts, tight end of the Atlanta Falcons, has not been practicing at OTAs due to a strained muscle in his foot? Our friend and colleague over at Bleacher Report, Kurt Benker, immediately quote tweeted this and said, yeah, this is exactly what teams do before your ass gets traded. There are thoughts that Kyle Pitts is going to be on the move. So, Jay, I've got to give you a round of applause. I'm going to give you a round of applause. You have been out on Kyle Pitts for a good 3.5 years now. You have been like, I don't know why y'all continue to hype this dude up. It's not it. It's not that good right now. It's no thank you, Kyle Pitts. You have been right every step of the way. Outside his rookie year, you have been absolutely correct on this. But if he does change environments, he is only 24 years old. He is a talented, he's got physical tools, okay? We're not going to get into the argument between talent and goddamn opportunity today. We're not doing that again. Go listen to Monday's show where we got 45 comments that I was too mean to JRich. But if he's moved, his youth and just the physical tools that he has, do you think that he can have a Evan Engram second wind on a new team, right? Where Engram was all right for the Giants and then kind of didn't do shit. Then he goes to Jacksonville and it's like, oh man, he still can play. And now he's in Denver. Like, can you see a second wind for a 24-year-old tight end, Kyle Pitts, who seems to be on his last straws in Atlanta?
Potentially, yeah. I think potentially there's a world for it. And Ray, I think the funny part is, it's like, why wouldn't someone just move him to wide receiver at this point? Like, why are we even trying to play him at tight end?
You can't, because you can't do that shit.
Is he not good enough?
No, you can't do that, man. I'm just telling you, dog. Like, I am, like, that's, it's a whole new position, right? It's like taking a relief pitcher and saying, go be a starting pitcher. Like, you're not. Maybe they could do it a little bit, like maybe like for a game. The talented
players do that, right?
Maybe,
like
maybe
the really
they
talented players can do that.
You probably don't want to do that. You probably just want to go find an ace. Let me go find somebody that's used to throwing 6-7 innings, opposed to someone that's used to throwing one. I just don't think you can switch him like that. He's not, because he's not a receiver. I'll just say it, because he's not.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part, is that it doesn't seem like he's a tight end. Maybe, like you said, he could be an Engram who. He had his ups and downs. He was really good on the Giants' rookie season. As you mentioned, he kind of had a resurgence in Jacksonville. But even now, we're kind of like, well, what is he going to be in Denver? Because if you're asking him to block, he's not going to do that very successfully. No. He's a pass catcher only that plays tight end. And so how many fits are those in the NFL? Because there's a lot of places where we probably want to see him go, but he's probably going to have to block in 60% of those places, right? Like, so I think the hard part is, where does he fit? Where can he play? And maybe he can, scrape out a tight end 12 season or something, but if he can't do it on Atlanta, when seemingly there's a pretty good amount of opportunity for him, it's hard to imagine where that next stop could be where you could find success, unless it's like literally Carolina or something.
Well, I think that's the intriguing thing, is that we don't know where that spot might be. It could be anywhere, dude. You know what I mean? It could be any damn team. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen in Atlanta. And I know it's voluntary. It's just OTAs. We got a lot of time left, but come on, Kyle Pitts. Come on.
Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh and Pitts to Miami, Ray. How do you feel about those swaps? We're not done.
Do the people think we're done talking about tight ends? What? You think we're done? We've got more tight ends to talk about. We went from JRich's boy and Kyle Pitts to my boy, my real boy. I didn't really think about the team that he plays for until I started going through this monologue right here. But neither here nor there, the head coach, not me, the head coach, John Harbaugh, says, and I quote, in regards to tight end Isaiah Likely, I want to see him be an all-pro. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said of Likely, that would be my goal for him, and he's capable of it. Last season, JRich, Isaiah Likely set a career high in catches with 42, yards with 447, and touchdowns with 6. John Harbaugh pumping up that Isaiah Likely all-pro caliber tight end. Are you buying or selling the coach speak here? Where's coach speak index at? Where the hell is he at?
I mean, I mean,
Where-
all pro is
I like
lofty.
JRich. I like me
Isaiah
some
Likely too.
Right? I like me some Likely.
Who is your all pro tight end? It's got to be Kittle, right?
This is a little too aggressive for me. All pro Likely is a little too aggressive. Are you buying or selling John Harbaugh and Isaiah Likely in 25?
I'll be selling it. But Ray, can we maybe get Pro Bowl tight end Isaiah Likely? I mean, we've seen the Ravens scrape through some questionable Pro Bowlers in the past. But yeah, no, I will happily
There you go.
sell
Garrison's
on the
buying it.
All-Pro.
Thank you. And thank you. We got a real ball knower in the chat. Listen. Jay,
They got to trade Andrews first. They got
Mark Andrews. What are they doing with that? What's the word? I don't think they're going to trade him, man. I don't think they're going to trade him.
We don't know because there was, I forget, I think it was either him or Eric DaCosta, the GM, who was asked about him, and he was very non-committal about Mark Andrews. Like, I think it was either just before the draft or just after the draft, right around that time. And it's like, okay, you're not necessarily committed, but he's still on the team. And we're waiting to find out what's going to happen. And, we had the post-June 1st designation, so we had to wait for some contract stuff to clear. Now it's June 4th, and we're waiting for some more dominoes to fall. But it seems like, unless something changes, Mark Andrews is going to be on the team, which is not ideal for Isaiah Likely being an all-pro.
All right, JRich. And I don't know what's happened, but since I have proclaimed the number 2 overall pick being a full-time receiver, just everything that's coming out is damn defense now. It's just defensive clips of Travis Hunter. Did you see the viral pic going around the world? Here it is right here. The Jacksonville Jaguars tweeted this out. Travis Hunter in sticky cup. Look at this, dude. I mean, this is insane. Now, the ball did in slow-mo hit the ground. But the ball skills, JRich, for Travis Hunter, the defensive back. How we feeling? How's the temperature
I'll take the PBU.
When you see stuff like this, right? And just the fact that he's doing both sides in an NFL practice, is it not just insane? Is it not? That's like Jefferson going out there and playing safety, but for real, not just dicking around out there like at the end of practice. But how incredible was this defensive pass breakup by Travis Hunter right here? Just how excited are you to watch this young man play? And feels like he's gonna be a walking highlight reel every single freaking week. And is there any concern about his full-time wide receiver designation that I've labeled him?
I don't have any concerns about the designation. No, this is just a phenomenal play. But this is the exact reason why people wanted Travis Hunter to play wide receiver. Yes, he's great in coverage. Yes, he can still cover a wide receiver, but the real reason why you want him on defense is because he can make a play like this because he has the ball skills. And that comes with the wide receiver training, the ball tracking. He obviously has the speed and the ability to stay with these top players in the NFL. And so now it's like you can utilize that on offense and defense. Why wouldn't you do that? He's a phenomenal talent. Very excited to watch him. But yeah, I don't really have concerns about what he's going to be his rookie season. It's just for people who are expecting, 1,200, 1,300 yards, like that may not come, but you're going to see a player play at a ridiculous level, I think, this season in the NFL for his rookie season.
It's just crazy to watch, right? I'm still 10 toes down. I think he's a better receiver than cornerback. I think that's why they traded up to get him. They're going to play him primarily on the offensive side of the ball, but they've already come out to say he's going to be in high leverage situations on the defensive side of the ball. And the good thing for Hunter is they do have Tyson Campbell. They do have a really good corner that they paid a lot of money to. I believe Campbell's paid like a top 5 corner in the NFL, top 10 cornerback in the NFL. So they're not going to, he's not going to have to line up against Nico Collins out the gate, right? Like that's probably not where they're going to put him in that situation, at least as early on and as a rookie. Just incredible play from an incredible player. Incredible play from an incredible player. You looking up Tyson Campbell's payday?
No. Okay. I'm trying to log into Underdog and I forgot my password.
Dude's trying to get that Underdog ADP. JRich, before we let's go to break real quick, and then we'll get into some unexpected breakout stars for the 2025 season. So these are players who either have low ADP, people are kind of just dismissing, not really thinking that much about. but they're in an environment and a situation where they can score a lot of points. They may not be the one at the position. We're not saying that they're going to be the number one player, but you look back and you look at where they're being drafted versus the production that you get. I think there are a few names and maybe even some more from the chat that we could throw in here. So we will do that right after we go to the break. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, and we'll be back. Unexpected breakout stars for the 25 season. Let's go. Welcome in, everybody, for another stream over here on Bleacher Report NFL Daily. You can find JRich and I every single week here on this app.
The moment I say it, they'll say, oh, yuck. And it's got to be Najee Harris, right? It's
that world is in an alternate timeline somewhere in the multiverse. It ain't here on Earth 616 or whatever. It ain't here. JRich and I are on every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Appreciate y'all being in the building. It's Wake Up with Ray and Jay every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over here on YouTube. If you cannot catch us live and engage in the chat with Austin and Jeff and Alan and Moggs, make sure you subscribe to the Wake Up with Ray and Jay podcast feed anywhere you get podcasts from. And make sure that you are on our second channel, DD Fantasy Football. Become a member over there. Scott Connor and I drop Destination Chill early for members. You got the video for the entire week to deploy the strategies, listen to the comments before it goes public to the rest of the YouTube world. Become a member over there on DDFFB, and there's some new shows over there. Shane and was this Shane and Brandon show, or is this just Shane's, Jay?
This is just Shane. This is Shane says.
Shane says draft capital in early production. He's got Omarion Hampton looking good on the thumbnail. That is over on DDFFB. And then last night, the Dynasty Theory crew went live for Q&A Fantasy Football Dynasty over on the channel. Scott Connor and Shane Manila have Manic and Chill. We've got Brandon doing mailbags on Fridays. And then we've got the new Dynasty Deal Show where you can get your trades answered right there privately if you are a member of that community. So make sure you're over there and you check that out. I was looking at the Jimbo said, why is there no, Jimbo was asking this, JRich. He said, no join button on mobile.
I do not work for YouTube.
Jimbo, we don't work for the damn tube of you. I don't know why that is, right? I have no clue why that is. But if you go on the website, just press the join button. It's $3. You get all our content, exclusive access. Most importantly, you get that joint ad-free. None of that Cialis ads in the middle, right? You don't have to get those Rose Sparks. There were a couple of comments about the right here, always resetting passwords. I had to do that the other day, dude. Not fun. And then Jeff's already put breakout number 1, Malik Washington, as an unexpected breakout star for the 2025 season. I'm going to start off with the player, Jay. I'm very much in. The production last year, his opportunity and situation this year, and there's already somebody in the chat that nailed the first unexpected breakout star for the 25 season. For me, Jay, how do you feel about this player that I'm about to pull up on the screen right now? Jeudy of the Cleveland Browns. JRich, this is Cleveland's wide receiver 1 going into the season. Jeudy currently coming off of the board is wide receiver 39.
Okay.
You can't tell me there are 38 wide receivers I'd rather have for the 25 season over Jeudy, right? Can you even name who the wide receiver 2 and or 3 is for Cleveland? Outside of David Njoku, who else can you name that's out there?
Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash.
Oh, yeah, Thrash.
You know I like Jamari Thrash.
Oh, yeah.
Who's their wide receiver 2, though? It can't be either of those two guys, can it? I named 2 guys, but
there you go.
I don't know if it's anyone else.
Go pull up Jeudy's stats from last season, Jay. This is just a player that, again, I don't believe that we'll look back at the end of the 25 season and say Jeudy finished as the wide receiver 2. He was better than Jefferson or Chase. But if you're going to tell me that the bet that I'm going to make is Jeudy at wide receiver 39 according to Underdog, I will draft him every single time. He's finishing higher than this. Another 1,000-yard campaign, a full season with Cleveland as the go-to guy. Looks like he put on a little weight as well. Talk about Jeudy being on this list.
It's a good spot for him. The biggest problem, though, is the quarterback play. And, you know, and here's the thing, the biggest thing with him, and I forget where I heard this, but do you know how many touchdowns Kenny Pickett has thrown in his NFL career?
Kenny Pickett's, don't get me started. Kenny Pickett's not going to start, JRich.
Okay, well, who's going to be the starter, Ray? Because it doesn't really matter.
Flacco.
Okay, so your only hope, and be honest here, your only hope is that you get Joe Flacco for what, at least half the season, because you got to have a competent quarterback here for Jerry Jeudy to work with. Because Kenny Pickett's career high for a season in touchdowns is 7. 7, Ray. 7 passing touchdowns he threw as a rookie. Next season, 6 in 12 games. 13 games the year before. So, like, yeah, you need Flacco. But if it's not Flacco, it's Dylan Gabriel, it's Shedeur Sanders, or it's Kenny Pickett. And so that's the biggest problem for Jeudy. And he, even last year, when he had a great season, he still only had 4 touchdowns. And that was with Jameis chucking the hell out of the ball, right?
Yeah, but just because he's chucking it doesn't mean it's good chucks, right? Like, I know
I mean, he had 145 targets last year.
A couple of times, but you still got to be able to get in the red zone. You don't want him throwing the ball. Like, I wouldn't want him throwing the ball if I were a coach in the red zone either, okay? Yes, the quarterback position, Jay. I get that. The quarterback, but it's a little different than other teams, right? Like, do you think Jeudy is quarterback proof? Because this is the argument you're making. You're making the argument that Jeudy is, to some extent, quarterback proof. And I don't think he's shown that throughout his career just yet. But the price is fair. I wouldn't say he's QB proof. I will say there are probably another dozen receivers that we're pumping up, and their quarterback situation is just as goddamn shaky as this one, if not more.
Could be.
I think anybody in Indianapolis, any bet you make there, how risky is that with Richardson and Daniel Jones, right?
Very fair.
You look at some other offenses. We're excited for some of these rookies, right? We're excited for Drake Maye, but we're pumping up Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Kyle Williams. Like, I don't think that him being the primary gives me a lot less concern. If he were the ancillary option or the third option or a rookie, I'd be a lot more concerned about the level of quarterback play, but he is the number one option. He is the number one option who garnered, what do you have, 120-something targets last
145.
season? 145 targets last year for Jeudy. For me, he's the number one guy for me. He is my top dog breakout star, and it feels like it's been brewing for a little bit with Jeudy. This is why he was a first-round pick. What was it, 4 years ago, back in 2020, right? So
yeah.
I think he's, again, not Jamar Chase, not Justin Jefferson, but you look up and he's wide receiver 13, wide receiver 12. I can absolutely see a world where Jerry Jeudy is an unexpected star for this 2025 season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially the weirder part is the format, right? Like in a format like this, you kind of want those boom-bust players, and by all accounts, the Cleveland Browns should be a very boom-bust offense as a whole, and especially when it comes to Jeudy. We saw that in the game when he had his revenge game against Denver when he went absolutely crazy. But he's going to have his bad games, but he's going to be pretty good. So I'm with you. He's probably a top 30 receiver, and where he's at right now at 38 is kind of crazy, and he could definitely go much higher than that, which I think he finished in the top 10 last year, didn't he? Or very close to it.
I think so.
Down the stretch, he was very good last year.
I think so. He was very good. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, let's talk to another receiver. And ironically, and I was just listing out names, and then I went to look at the ADP, and I thought his would be much lower than this. I thought it'd be even lower than this. But it's one spot higher than Jerry Jeudy, right? It's one spot higher than Jerry Jeudy. As I'm doing these underdog drafts, no one feels really excited to draft this player, but there he is. And he is a member of one of the best offenses in the NFL with one of the best. And hell, you just said he's QB1 on KTC. Jaden Daniels, QB1 on KTC. You got Cliff Kingsbury returning for another year as the offensive coordinator in Washington. JRich, unexpected breakout star bouncing back in 2025. Can we show some love for that man who likes to steal them chains? Deebo, baby. Deebo Samuel of the Washington Commanders, currently the wide receiver 38 on Underdog.
Okay, Deebo Samuel. So what is your path, do you think, success for Deebo Samuel? Do you think it's like 1,000 yards and maybe 8 to 10 touchdowns? Like, what do you think the expectations should be at?
We know Terry McLaurin's the top dog in Washington. They've got a very solid tight end in Zach Ertz. They drafted Jalen Lane, the only offensive skill position player of relevance, really, that they drafted early in the draft. But one of the first moves that this team did is they traded for Deebo Samuel. They went out and said, we want to upgrade this offense. Jaden Daniel needs weapons. Olamide Zaccheaus is no longer there. De'Ami Brown is no longer there. If we're projecting and anticipating Jaden Daniels to take another step forward in his maturation process of being an elite quarterback, that's going to come with some more opportunity for players on the field. Deebo's going to be on the field. He's going to do a little something different than what Terry McLaurin does. Those roles don't intersect and cross paths. So I think it's him doing exactly what he did in San Francisco, being a yak merchant, running those crossing routes, getting the ball quickly, letting Jaden Daniels' legs open up some big playability down the field. I like Deebo Samuel for 2025.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right? Because, he's a player that you view as a yak guy. You think, get him the ball quickly, see what he can do. But even in some of his best seasons, like Ray, he's never had 80 receptions in a season. Isn't that kind of crazy to think? Like the way he's utilized close to the line of scrimmage, and especially the way that Jaden Daniels plays. He gets the ball out quick. He gets the ball to his receivers quickly and close to the line of scrimmage at times when he needs to. And I think that's where Deebo's a great asset. But I just hope that he can still be a yak monster like he has been, because there probably will be a lot of early targets, quick targets, available targets for him. I believe they still ran the most screens in the NFL last season as well. So I do like the shot on Deebo. The question will always be, can he stay healthy? Because he will play banged up and he will get banged up from time to time. But I think the upside with Deebo is that he may get a lot more receptions than people realize because of the way that Jaden Daniels plays.
I love the banter in the chat. I want people to think about this. I see some people, I'm not in, I can't get, this is the point, right? This is the point of this exercise. Again, if I just told you, you're getting a former, just 2 years removed from 20 point per game season from Deebo Samuel, and I know he's got to stay healthy.
He was
I get all
pro.
of that. I get all of that. But if I just told you, if we dropped him, let me ask you this. If we dropped him into a shitty situation, everybody would be out, right? Like, I don't want any part of Tennessee. Oh, he's in New Orleans. No, thank you. We're dropping him into one of the best offenses in the NFL with one of the best young quarterbacks. He's not going to be asked to run deep post routes, right? He's not going to line up on the outside and go vertical every single. He's going to do the shit that Deebo Samuel does. He's going to run the ball. I think I saw Jimbo put his B-Rob's backup running back, right? He's going to run the ball. Florisaurus said 800 receiving yards, 250 rushing wouldn't be bad. AJ Levy right here says everyone forgets how good De'Ami Brown was the last part of the season and was used a ton on bubble screens. People just see a name and they have no concept of the schematic approach of the team. This is what they did with Brown. I mean, it's bubble screens, it's tunnel screens, it's getting the ball out of JD5's hands quickly on RPO play action. If Deebo is brought in to do these things, I promise you he's going to outproduce wide receiver 38 cost.
Yeah, and I think the other side
of
it
if he stays healthy, right? If he doesn't stay healthy, then fine. But I mean, that's the same bet you're making with Christian McCaffrey, with Breece Hall. Name the player if they stay healthy, right?
No, 100%. And that's where, you look to Zach Ertz and how effective he was in this offense. Deebo is the same type of player with way more juice than we ever saw from Zach Ertz at this stage of his career, right? So you give some of those short targets to Deebo Samuel instead of Zach Ertz, and he can probably make a couple plays, get some extra yardage and all those things that we weren't able to see from Ertz last season. So I think it's great for this offense as a whole because you already have the outside threats. Now you're being even more dynamic on the inside and adding to that, which was great for Daniels last year.
So we talked through a little Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver 39, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 38. I was going to pivot to running back, but let's just stick with wide receiver real quick. Let's go. Again, I didn't know it was going to go 38, 39, and 40, but let's go with a player who's ranked even lower than both of them. JRich, and another situational change for this team. They bring in a veteran quarterback who has been a prolific passer in the NFL. They've upgraded the rushing attack in this offense. Jay, we look up at the end of the year and Jakobi Meyers is a top 20 receiver. Would you be shocked?
Oh,
Would you be shocked if we look up at the end of the 2025 season and the wide receiver one, not Brock Bowers, he is the tight end one. The wide receiver one for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jakobi Meyers, who had, and I checked those notes, he was close to 130 targets last year, correct? With the combination of Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and I believe a game of Desmond Ridder was sprinkled inside of that season last year. I believe it was 3 quarterbacks, and he still garnered 130 targets, 1,000 yards for Jakobi Meyers, going off the board as wide receiver 40. 40.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, people were on your ass after last show.
Talk about the value that you're getting with Jakobi Meyers, again, as the Raiders' #1 wideout. I think the primary target is probably Bowers, but they're both probably in line to get 150 damn targets this year.
Yeah, and I think the best part about it is that you look to what he did last season with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you say, well, why can't Jakobi Meyers be some version of that, right? He's not quite the same dynamic playmaker, but in 15 games, I mean, you extrapolate what he did last season, 87 receptions, 10, 27 in terms of yards, 4 touchdowns. You give him a couple more games, he's probably over 1,100,
with Aiden,
95 receptions.
With
like, that's
Aiden,
really,
Rattler,
really good.
and Minshew, we've got Geno in the building, Jay. You've got a running game. Now, the play action will work. You think any defense was worried about you handing the ball to goddamn Sincere McCormick or whoever was back there? Zeus White, your boy, Zamir White. You think they were scared of that in the play action game? I think Ashton Genty will provide a little more fear to open some stuff up down the field.
For sure, but the question now, Ray, is so let's add some more context here, because the Raiders did throw the ball 635 times last year, and they were very bad, right? And you could, if you want, project Geno for that type of volume, but when you have an Ashton Genty, you expect them to lean on him a little bit more heavily. They had no running game last year, and their offensive line was really bad. Now, the offensive line still may be porous this season, but they will have a significantly improved rushing attack. So that's where you kind of have to find the balance between all the volume he got. They only ran the ball 380 times last year, which for some people, that's just Ashton Genty's workload this season, right? Depending, of course, on who you ask. So that's where it's tough, because Bowers 150, Jakobi 130. He's going to be the #2 target on the offense. It's how do you manage the volume that he got last season? I'd probably say he'll do the exact same thing this year. 90 receptions, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I think, to your point, that would probably slot him in higher than wide receiver 40. So I do really like this call. I don't think he's going to be much better than he was last season. He could have some more touchdowns. Geno will make them a more efficient offense, but you factor in a little bit less passing, a little bit more rushing attack, he probably falls right in line with what he did last year, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with Kev right here. He said Jakobi is not going to be game plan around week to week. There's no defense of coordinator that's like, I'm losing sleep over figuring out how to stop Jakobi Meyers. Defense is worried about Bowers and Genty. Jakobi can eat with Geno. And again, that whole cluster, right? Deebo 38, Jeudy 39, Jakobi Meyers 40. Like, if I just had those 3 receivers in a best ball format, that ain't bad right there. Like, there's some boom bust, best ball spike week opportunity potential in just that 3-person wide receiver room. Now, you're not saying that's what you want to go do and deploy it that way, but Meyers at 40, JRich? Myers at 40. We had a keep trade cut question in here from Jimbo. And we gotta get this fixed, because Jimbo said my button is not there. Just know I would join and support if it would let me. We gotta get that fixed. If people need to get, we got to see what's going on. Why that damn
everyone
else?
Button. Everyone else said it was good. There was a lot of people who said they had it.
Update your damn YouTube app, Jimbo. Update your app to 2025. Jimbo said keep trade cut. Jerry Jeudy, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave.
So
Jerry Jeudy, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave. Keep one, trade one, cut one.
Are we factoring anything like value, or because I feel like these players are valued very differently?
Let's just go on-field production. Who do you think, if you had to rank those 3, on-field production 2025? Like, what you think they're going to finish at, keep one, trade one, cut one.
I guess I would keep Jeudy, I would trade DK, and I'd cut Olave. Yeah.
Is there another way that you would answer it if I were like value-wise? Like value, dynasty value. How do you think the dynasty can? I could tell you how they draft them. I'm almost positive Olave and DK are higher than Jeudy on underdog.
Probably. Well, Jeudy versus Olave is interesting because people still like Olave, but there's obviously concerns about his health, concussions, probably some quarterback play. But I have the same concerns about DK. Like I'm not sold on DK. You know, you and I are talking about the most overpaid players in the NFL tomorrow on Bleacher Report, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I want to put DK on that list.
You should.
He's getting paid $30 million a year for the next 5 years, and you know, I don't think he's really earned it or that good enough to warrant a contract like that. So while he got the contract, and we're always, you know, talking about, well, once they get the contract, the volume should follow, like almost guaranteed, because that's just how the NFL works. You're not paying a guy to do nothing, but I mean, Jeudy's the best value there pretty easily. He's going to get the volume. The team is awful, but like, what are we expecting from the Pittsburgh Steelers this season? Not a whole lot.
I'm not expecting a damn nothing except for you and Jonnu Smith. Apparently, that's about it.
We'll see. We'll see.
No room for DK because JRich's Jonnu is going to eat it all up in Pittsburgh once they make that trade. There was a crazy stat for Jakobi Meyers that he didn't drop a ball for like 90 catches too. Hands are crazy sticky. Okay, JRich, this one we're going to switch positions. We're going to go running back position, and this one is a little more controversial. Because if you believe the words of the coach is like, hey, we're going to get some more people some work. But you just start looking at what this running back has done. 3 straight years over 1,000 yards. I believe he was 8th in the NFL in carries last year. Top 12 in rushing yards. Touchdowns weren't there. Offense was absolutely atrocious. They had no QB. None. No QB whatsoever. But they've upgraded the quarterback position. They've spent some money on the offensive front. They brought in some more weapons. So do you think there's a world where you look up in last year's RB22, Tony Pollard, JRich, finishes higher than his current price on Underdog outside of the top 24, RB26 right now? Last year, RB22, I think he was like 12 points per game. Again, top 12 in yards in rushing, top 10 in carries in the NFL. He just had a shitty scoring offense. Absolutely awful. Awful offense. Now, head coach Brian Callahan is saying we want a division of labor and Tajay Spears. And I believe they made a running back signing yesterday, JRich, but nothing that I think it was
nothing that would
no needle movers. It was an old failed running back Colt legend, I believe. Running back legend, RB legend from the community. I don't know who it was, but it's
Tyrion Davis Price.
There it is, TDP. That Tyrion Davis Price. They made a signing. What are your thoughts on Tony Pollard's potential to finish much higher than this RB26 price tag? And again, an offense that should be much improved with Cam Ward at quarterback and not damn Will Levis.
I think it's very interesting. Now, to be fair, he's in a really tough range to peg on Underdog right now.
He's in a tough range.
For people who aren't looking at it, Caleb Johnson is ahead of him. Quinshon Judkins ahead of him. David Montgomery, James Conner. So, again, because of the team and the offense, what we project from them, it's tough to know what Pollard's going to do. But again, I don't have a lot of faith in Tajay Spears being healthy this season.
Me either,
he hasn't shown it, right?
Me either.
And Pollard has been available, and he's been, by all accounts, what we would consider like a 60%, 70% at times workload running back. And that is valuable. So if Cam Ward is better, and we talked all offseason about how they're bolstering the offensive line, both last season in the draft and offseason into this season now have a quarterback of the future in Cam Ward, we should believe that Pollard's going to get a lot of work. And if Callahan is smart, he should lean on his starting running back because he was very good last year. A lot of people thought that after Dallas, he'd kind of fall off, but he showed you that he is more than capable of being a starting running back in this league and carrying the ball a lot. Now, the question is, can he do it again for another season? Dallas ran him into the ground. Tennessee, to some extent, ran him into the ground last year. If he can do it again this year, though, he will absolutely pay off on his ADP.
I just need one more. We're talking 2025, JRich. I just need one more ride from Tony Pollard. I think I top 8 in carries. It's really the bet on Spears. Like, do you believe that Spears is going to factor in enough to really pull work away from Pollard? And I just don't think so right now, Jay.
Yeah. That's the biggest question, right? And I don't think he's going to either. They should lean on Pollard because he is the better running back. Now, Spears can still offer something in the offensively, but I think that Pollard is the better running back that they should lean on overall, for sure.
All right, Jay, let's move on to another running back lower than Tony Pollard and a little bit younger, a little more explosive than Tony Pollard. But for some reason, people were not in on this running back for quite some time. But the tide has turned over the last 48 hours because of some comments from the head coach. So let me go ahead and pull up Liam Cohen, JRich. Let's go to Jacksonville. Let's go to Duval County and listen to Liam Cohen talk about Travis Etienne. And then we're going to talk about Travis Etienne being priced way too low at RB38. Maybe we'll listen when I unmute the site.
What have you seen from Etienne so far? I mean, he's done every day, everything we've asked him to do, he's done at a good click for us. I mean, the ability in the screen game to hand him jet sweeps, his vision so far in the run game's been good. You know, he's done everything we've asked him to do and more. There's been a consistency. Again, one of those things where, you know, he can shine in ways in space. It's really hard to see a runner in this setting. Are they going to get the hard, physical, tough yards? Are they going to be able to stick their foot in the ground and get those, you know, physical, violent yards that we're going to need? That's hard to really kind of grade at this moment. He's done a great job. I don't really understand some of the stuff I've kind of seen out there. That's absolutely inaccurate.
JRich, that is the coach speak from the coach. And we know we love us some OCs on this show. Find a group of people who like offensive coordinators more than JRich and I.
More than these guys.
Travis Etienne, RB38. There's been a lot of speculation that, and I have never once bought into this idea that Bichelle Tootin was going to be the starting damn running back for the Jags. Like, come on, man. No, he ain't. He ain't. And he's not. And he's not Bucky Irving. Stop it. Stop. He's not Bucky. He's fast. He's got Liam Cohen. I know it's fun to make the parallels, but the same way damn DeAndre Swift isn't Jahmyr Gibbs, Roschon Johnson isn't David Montgomery, Bichelle Tootin is not Bucky Irving. Travis Etienne is going to be, if he's on the team, he's going to outcarry everybody on Jacksonville. He's going to lead the running back room in receiving yards. And he is.
Probably.
He is.
But to say that he's going to lead the running back room like with confidence is...
I say
that's
a little confident. I say it with full confidence.
Did he do it last year?
Who was the OC last year? Wasn't Liam Cohen?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So
the hell if I know.
Ray, I get you're excited, right? You like yourself some Travis Etienne.
I don't even like Etienne.
The comments get you beamed up like no tomorrow.
Oh, here we go.
But last season, this same coach in a different part of Florida said the same thing about a running back that sucks. His name is Rachaad White. Rachaad White last season was okay. But he made the exact same comments about Rachaad White, a running back that nobody wanted, that no one thought was good. And what happened? Bucky Irving took over. Now, I'm not saying Bichelle Tootin's going to take over, but I'm not necessarily going to run with these comments from Liam Cohen and say, yeah, Travis Etienne's going to be the guy, because we don't know who the guy is. And until we know who the guy is, I'm just going to assume that they're all going to get opportunity.
Is it Tootin? Do you think it's Tootin?
No,
do you think it's Tootin?
I think it will be split between Etienne and Tank. I think both of them offer different skill sets. We saw that last season. They were deployed as such. And that's kind of how they're being drafted right now. And maybe Etienne can grab a hold of that job, because I do believe of all the players, maybe Tootin aside, because we don't know what he is in the NFL, he has the opportunity to get the most production. He's got the more explosive feet. I think he's better in space, and I think he's a better pass catcher than Tank Bigsby is. But that doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. So we just have to see how it plays out. But that's where I understand the comments, people's excitement, but Cohen did say the same thing about Rachaad White, and it didn't pan out so great for Rachaad White.
Rachaad White was
so
still
we'll see
used,
how it plays out.
And Etienne
was
is a
heavily
hell of a
utilized.
lot more explosive than Rachaad. Like, it's not even, they're in two different vehicle classes, okay? They're in two different vehicle classes.
But Rachaad White is a very good pass catcher,
because I know
which
you
we
love,
know.
You love
right?
that talent, that natural talent. Etienne's got a lot more of that natural talent than Rachaad White.
Yeah, but he's not a better pass catcher, right?
But that
Rachaad White's
talent,
a great pass
Rich.
catcher. Yeah, I mean, talent matters. You got to be talented.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go back to Monday's show when we had a conversation on scheme versus talent. We'll see, Jay. At RB38 prices, I will take the swing. You can't tell me that.
Would you take it?
If
would you take it over Tank though? Because Tank's got to be cheaper, right?
if week 1, he's the starting running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars, can you in any world justify 37 running backs ahead of him?
No, because there's not. There's
not,
more than 32
right?
spots, right? Like if you're the starting running back for a team, you should be at 32 or right around that range. Absolutely.
Or higher.
Yeah.
And then if you're the starting running back of a team that we are anticipating the offense taking a step forward, you should be a hell of a lot higher than 38.
But is that a better value than Tank Bigsby at 47? Because would you admit that Tank Bigsby has just as much opportunity to potentially be the starter?
No, I would not admit that. No.
Okay.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
Okay.
I don't think he does.
I think he does, but maybe not.
All right. Well, let's move on to a quarterback. And this is not the dynasty long-term value because he won't be there in 5 years. But for this 2025 season, we continue to talk about this offense. They've got a great running game. They've invested in the offensive line. They've upgraded that position. It's a team that won a playoff game last year, and a team that just went in and brought Davante Adams in. Matthew Stafford, JRich. Matthew Stafford. Right now, valued as QB 24, barely on the cusp of being a top 24 quarterback for the 2025 season. Now, I've been looking and reading beat reporters from the Rams. They're talking about he's 4,000 yards. Like for this team to really do what they need to do, Stafford's got to go out there and be damn near MVP level in 2025, sure. Which I don't think that's unrealistic expectations for Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams in 25. I fully expect him to feed Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, whomever's playing tight end, and Kyren Williams to continue to just matriculate the ball down the field. Matthew Stafford, QB 24? JRich, I'm not talking 3 years. I'm not talking a year from now. I'm talking September through December. Matthew Stafford on the Rams, QB 24. How is he not finished higher than this? If he's healthy. If he's healthy, I mean, right?
It's really just if he can't, he's not going to run, right? That's the whole reason why he's down here. But you know I'm not against you on this at all. Love Matthew Stafford. Phenomenal talent. Unbelievable quarterback. Just when you talk about cerebral, the way he delivers the ball, and some of the performances he has consistently, Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And a lot of people would put him a lot higher than 15 if he was at 15 on any QB list. The question really is, how many touchdowns is he going to throw?
Well, somebody
He's
in the chat,
to throw 35 to 40 probably.
This is what Jeff put in. It says 42 and 35. I think that's fair and realistic. I don't think he didn't say 50 goddamn touchdowns. He didn't say 40. He said 4,235 TDs for Stafford. I don't know what model he has, but I don't think these numbers are misplaced. 42 and 35.
So the numbers are a little high, right? When you just go look at Matthew Stafford historically, you got to go all the way back to 2021 when he threw for 41 touchdowns. I believe that was the year they won the Super Bowl. Almost have to be. But ever since, he hasn't thrown more than 24.
Been rough.
Now, part of the reason why is because of the running game, right? That rushing attack has been great ever since they got Kyren Williams. The past two seasons, 24 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns. And I think that's what's going to hurt him a little bit. It's not that he can't throw for 30 touchdowns. He absolutely can. But if they're going to consistently run the football in the red zone and rush for touchdowns, which they have shown the willingness to do in the past, that's what's going to hurt him. But maybe bringing in Davante Adams will kind of change the way McVay plays in the red zone, and that will be the X factor. Having Puka Nacua, having Davante Adams, and especially if they like Terrence Ferguson, which by all
that's what I'm
reports,
saying.
they love Terrence Ferguson. Man. And then someone else brought up in the chat, them trying to trade up to 8 in the draft to draft what we assume would be T-Mac McMillan.
T-Mac.
I mean, it would be an insane proclamation to not assume they want to throw the heck out of the ball this season.
Pistol Pete
and they got a great schedule.
And you and I are both very weary on the pocket passers that can't throw for a lot of if you're going to stand in the pocket, you better throw for a lot of touchdowns. And Pistol Pete says Stafford is one of the few pocket passers with high-end upside. He's got the weapons, scheme, and he's done it before.
Do you want me to debunk that just slightly?
What, his rushing upside?
No. Matthew Stafford's passing touchdown upside. He's 37. I don't know how many years he's played in the NFL, but
a lot.
Since
2009.
Since 2009. Oh, sorry. He's 16 years he's played in the NFL. Ray, do you want to guess how many times he's thrown for 30 touchdowns?
I'm not going to like the answer, so no, I don't want to guess. Twice.
3 times. Now, he has thrown for 29 touchdowns 2 times, but even if you bump that sample to 29 touchdowns, he's only done it in a third of his NFL seasons. Now, some were rough in Detroit, but some he had Megatron. So, 2 30-touchdown seasons in Detroit, 2 with 40 with 40 as well. So, again, you're still
Come on, man.
potentially
Shit, that's
an
good
outlier
enough,
season.
Jay. He's got Adams and Puka and McVay.
I'm just adding a bit of context to Matthew Stafford's historical career. He will throw for a ton of yards, but the touchdowns are what has been more difficult for him to come by. More difficult for him to come by at times.
Well, before we get out of here, because what I want to do is see who's ahead of him, right? So we can do a little would you rather Stafford QB edition.
Oh, you want to see? Okay, yeah, I can give you the list if you want.
I got it too. You got it?
Yeah. Let's put your feet to the fire here.
Put my feet to the fire. Let's go. We'll end on this. We'll end on this. We'll end on this 9-10.
All right. We will start with your boy, Anthony Richardson. Would you rather? Matthew Stafford or Anthony Richardson?
For this, we're talking 25 season, right?
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford.
Cam Ward.
Matthew Stafford.
Geno Smith.
Like Geno. I'm taking Stafford over Geno.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Stafford.
I skipped over Bryce Young.
Stafford.
Michael Penix.
Stafford.
Yeah. J.J. McCarthy.
Stafford.
It has to be Stafford.
Stafford.
C.J. Stroud.
Stafford.
Justin Herbert.
25.
Yeah.
Probably Herbert. I feel like I got to say Herbert.
Jared Goff.
Goff.
Okay. So the only guys I really skipped over, Trevor Lawrence. You love yourself some Liam Cohen, Ray. Don't let Liam down.
It's the bet, right? Like if we're betting that Lawrence is going to send Annie runs around.
Yep.
If I got 10, give me 4 Staffords, 6 Lawrences.
So you're taking Lawrence, is what you're saying. And last but not least, Jordan Love. How do you feel about Jordan Love versus Stafford this season?
I don't know, man. I think they're kind of in the same boat, right? Don't they? Doesn't Love feel like?
I think so.
He's not a pocket passer, but he's not a.
But he doesn't run.
But he doesn't run.
He doesn't really run.
And he is touchdown dependent. And they both have like innings eater running backs. They got running backs that just touch the ball 300 times every year. I'd probably take Adams and Puka Nacua. I would take Matt. I think for this season, I'm not talking Dynasty. I'm not telling you what you could trade him for. 5 years, 2025. He's up there. I'm taking him over. Yes, I would take Stafford.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I would probably take Stafford over Love. Him versus Lawrence is interesting. I would probably take him over Stroud.
I'm taking Purdy. I'm seeing people in the chat.
Like ahead of Goff, Purdy. How do you feel about him versus Justin Fields? Justin Fields is QB 10, and I get it. Like, he can run wild. But at the same time, like, it could be closer than I think people
here's
realize.
my thing with Fields. I'm drafting him. I don't feel great, but I feel better knowing that, like, the Jets I think he's going to start all year. Right? Like, what Fields is going to be, I'd much rather invest in Fields for the 25 season than long term. I don't think there's any world he's coming off the field. Like Sam Darnold,
he'd have to be so bad.
Like there's some quarterbacks that I think they just, dude, Davis Mills and Will Levis were best options, right? And they got to play all throughout the freaking year. So I don't think like it is shaky as some of these older quarterbacks feel. Like I think Geno's he's not coming off the field no matter what. Darnold's not coming off the field. And I think Justin Fields is right in that boat, JRich. I don't care. He'd have to be
really bad.
Catastrophically bad for I think the Jets to say we're pulling you off the field. Like I mean,
and I think to your point, when you're talking about these quarterbacks, like I'm not going to say he's got more job security than Geno, but I think if him and Sam Darnold are equally bad, I think Sam Darnold gets benched before Justin Fields does. I really do. Because they drafted a quarterback, and the Jets didn't, right? They are all in on Fields this season.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
That's
But I
like it though.
I'm still riding with Fields. All right. We had some more names on the list, but we could talk about this on Friday. Hit the music. Where'd the show go? Talking about those damn tight. We're not talking about 5 tight ends again. How are we talking about 5 damn tight ends on
this
the
was
show?
the tight end show.
This is the tight end show. Man, we had some super chats though. Cam Meyers dropped one in the building. Your boy, is the 112 and the 201 not enough for Ladd McConkey? JRich, they want to trade for your boy.
In terms of picks?
Yeah, they're like, man, I'm giving up the 112 and the 201. Is that not enough? Is that enough, Jay, for Ladd?
You could give up the 102 and it would still get rejected. Are you joking?
Yeah,
112 and 201.
Ladd, probably not enough.
Not even close. You need
probably
at least probably
enough
2
for,
first to get him.
I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay that.
Yeah.
You got that historical trinity. BC, super chat. Half PPR. Traded London, Connor, 205, 207 for Jefferson and Ramondre. Drafted Travis Hunter at the 108. My third ranked guy. And Shuck at the 208. Thoughts? Traded Drake London, James Conner, 205, 207 for Jefferson and Ramondre. Thoughts, JRich?
I like it.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You go from London to Jefferson, I'm with it.
Yeah, Jefferson.
Right? Yeah.
Give a shit about Ramondre, but you got your running back
picks,
back.
You know, maybe
you got
some
your
depth.
body back, right? I'd take Connor over Ramondre, but I'm taking Jefferson over
Drafted
London
Hunter
pretty
at
comfortably.
108. What?
Yeah, nice. Chuck at
Crazy.
the 208 spot too. Half PPR. Half PPR. So they wanted Justin, the positional value, right? Get the big dog, get the top dog. Hopefully JJ McCarthy is good. All right.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all being in the building. Hit the thumbs up button. Oh, JRich, my bad, dude. My JRich, my bad, dude. I made you too little, then I made you too big. JRich, get us out of here, man, while I fix the screen.
Thank you, everybody, for tapping in. Make sure you watch our Bleacher Report stream where we talk about the most overpaid players in the NFL. Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like and subscribe. Go check out DDFFB and become a member, because there's a lot of exciting stuff you can do over there. We're adding emojis. We got different people for different tiers, so get excited.
Oh,
you
got different people for different tiers?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We got different, so we'll see where everyone's at and get excited because it'll be a lot of fun. But thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Friday, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.